What's up everyone, this is Sam from Rokoko, and in this tutorial I'm going to be walking you through our new Blender plugin that allows you to stream raw mocap data into Blender from Rokoko Studio. It's super cool, it makes it really easy to get the data in, and we have this cool auto detect system that allows you to rig up your character with the correct bones super quickly. So let's jump into it. So first things first, let's go through how to install the add-on in Blender itself. We'll have a link to download the file in the description below and on our website. Download the zip file. Then in Blender, go to Edit, Preferences, then click Add-ons, and then you're going to click Install. You will then navigate to where you download the .zip file and double-click it to install it. I'm not going to because I already did so. But afterwards, if you go to the search bar and you type in Rokoko, you should find the plugin installed, and then make sure that the checkbox is clicked so that it is enabled in Blender. To be doubly sure, you can open this little tab over here, and there should be a Rokoko tab there, and you should see the receiver information and some of the UI. Boom. Okay, we're almost ready to start live streaming, but first we need to set up our rig to receive the data from Rokoko Studio. For this demo, I'm going to use the XBot from Mixamo, but most rigs will work for this process, and any rigs that you create using Mixamo will work for this process, so that makes it easy to find rigs. After you download it, go ahead and import it. Going to File, Import. It's important to note that the character has to be in a T-pose for this to work. Now that it's in the scene, it's very easy to assign the bones to it. What we're going to do is click on our armature here, and then click Auto Detect, and automatically the plugin will fill in all the correct bones. And basically what this is doing is it's retargeting the data from the bones that you're recording in Rokoko Studio to the correct bones here in Blender. The last thing you'll do is click this button, Set T-Pose, and then we can jump into Rokoko Studio and start streaming the data live. Okay, if we jump into Rokoko Studio now, you can see that I've already put on my suit and connected it up, and I've assigned the suit to my actor profile. Hello there. So the first thing that we're going to do when we're live streaming is, as soon as we've gotten our suit set up, we're going to go over to this little button here and click Start Live Stream. And that will take you to the Rokoko Studio Live area. And in this newest release of Studio, we've actually changed the UI here a little bit so that this makes a little bit more sense and is easier to navigate now. And you can see that the Blender live integration panel is right here. So in order to start streaming, we're just going to click this button on. And as you can see, we have some IP information up here and some address information. And now if we jump back into Blender, and remember we hit Set as T-Pose. That's really important. It won't work until you hit Set as T-Pose. But then we also have this now Actor tab available. And if you have multiple actors, if you're doing virtual production, or you have a couple different people in your scene, you will have all those suits, and all those actors will be available here to assign to each individual rig. But for this example, we just have one actor and one rig, so it makes it easy. So we're ready to go. We've assigned our actor here, C2J, and now if we just hit Start Receiver, we are live streaming. This is all live, and as you can see, this is being piped through. If we go back to Rokoko Studio, here's our Rokoko Studio, which is lagging just because of the screen recording. But if we jump into Blender, you can see everything is working smoothly, nice and quick, and and it's as easy as that. And a big part of that is this auto detect system, which I'm really jazzed about. This is really cool. Right now, we don't have face data or anything like that, or trackers or props, but if we did, that would all appear here, and you'd be able to do the same auto detect system on facial blend shapes in order to stream facial mocap live into Blender. So I can stand up, a little bit, you know, you can see that it's all working. And so this is great. So a couple of the other features, I'll sit back here. You can see me working is, so once we have this receiver starting, we can hit this hide meshes during play. Means that you won't actually see the mesh. So sometimes this can help if you're having lag issues, especially when you start recording. So add the mesh back, and we'll just kind of go through these functions one by one. We can turn this down. We can close that. So, right, obviously you have our receiver, start and stop it. That means that you're transmitting the data from Rokoko Studio into Blender. Another cool thing is that if you hit start recording, you can record a take directly into Blender. So let's do that, and I can kind of show you here. I'll stand up a little bit. And if we hit start recording, so now it is recording all these actions to the Blender timeline. And I'll just do a couple little things here. Woo! And if we hit stop recording, it will still be transmitting the suit data live as long as you're not, as long as you haven't hit play. As soon as you hit play, it's going to start playing all these recorded keyframes from what we just recorded. And it's as easy as that to record data and get it into Blender now live. And so that's really awesome. That is just a couple clicks and you can get it going. And again, as soon as we hit pause and we start the receiver again, it's going to go back and we can re-record, or we can find the takes that we've created and use them in scenes. So if we keep going down what's available here, the Studio Command API, this will allow you to control Rokoko Studio from Blender directly. So if we go back to Rokoko Studio, and I'm still here, and we go into settings, and we go to Command API, if we enable this, and then we check our API key in our listening port to make sure that they're the same in Blender. We check Blender, 1234, 1403. Usually these are ready to go. Now we can control Rokoko Studio directly from Blender, which is really neat. So in case you need to do a calibration or do a straight pose or something like that, you don't have to be jumping back and forth between Rokoko Studio and Blender. You can simply, if I was going to do a straight pose, for example, I would stand up, hit straight pose, do my straight pose, and there we go. And now I've been recalibrated, and I didn't have to go back into Rokoko Studio in order to do that. So that's pretty neat as well. If we keep going down the list here, we have an updater. So you can check for updates. The other thing that's really cool is that we're going to have versions available here to install selected versions. So if we push an update and it's causing some problems for you or something like that, you always have the option to go back to a more stable, for your situation update. And so that just is a great option to have, as someone who works in this field. Things always go wrong, and it's always great to be able to go back and get to something that is stable and reliable. There's also an info tab here, has some of the information, has links to our license and to the website, some documentation, our forums, anything that in case you get stuck or you run into problems, you can visit these links and hopefully get some help. So I'm going to. So the last thing is this scene scale, and we'll have a couple different options here for this. Basically, this scene scale will allow you to change the offset of certain trackers or markers or things like that, or change the offset of your rig or character. It's basically just to allow for different sized rigs and different sized, characters to have accurate data. So you can offset trackers or things like that, and we'll have more information about that sort of aspect of it on our blog, so you can check that out if you want to get more information on how to offset things so that they look good when they're streaming into Blender from Rokoko Studio. That is about it for how to use this plugin. It's really fantastic. We hope you guys enjoy it a lot. As you can see, it's working from just a couple of clicks, and you can get everything going. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, always feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and we always go through them and try and help you guys out if anybody has any questions. And other than that, hope you guys found this useful, and we'll see you guys on the next tutorial. Thanks.